Namaste, and here's wishing you all a very blessed Navratri. Uh, to begin with, I know I'm a little delayed in making this video of Rahu Ketu transit in each sign. Um, I was a little caught up with a lot of things, and it takes a lot of time and energy to make sure that you are guided properly. So I would quickly go through what is going to happen during this transit of Rahu and Ketu in the sign of Taurus and Scorpio. A more detailed version of the video is already up on my channel. You can look at my playlist, and it is already there, the Rahu Ketu transit of Taurus and Scorpio. And without any further delay now, I would like to cover this signs of each zodiac. Remember, this is the Vedic astrology and not the tropical Western astrology. So here we consider the moon sign. So each of the ascendants are according to your moon signs. In order to find out more on your ascendants, you can check any of the astrological websites and just put your date of birth, time, and place of birth, and you will come to know what your ascendant is. So let us discuss what is in store with Rahu Ketu in the sign of Taurus and Scorpio. To begin with, a little bit of details as to what you can expect in general. Well, Rahu again is a sign of desires and your illusions. Your Rahu is actually basically what you really want to do, and Ketu, on the other hand, is what you really want to give. Okay, so with these signs coming into play in the sign of Taurus, Rahu in Taurus, now they actually are, how do I say it? It's like, you will be amplified in doing things which you really want to do for a long time. And Rahu again will help you with these desires, and you would really want to grow. A creative side of you will start coming up, and you would want to nurture it. Because what is Taurus? Taurus is the sign of luxury, of comfort, of you could say the happiness that you're looking for. So Taurus is all about the earthly things, the material things. And Rahu, being in the sign of Taurus, will give you this feeling, the desire to be creative and want to do something, want to achieve something. So it's a very good time to start working on things which you really want to work on. And on the other side, Ketu is spiritual. So you will also see that you would want something to be done which will be of value. You would like to really value and work towards your value, or probably just know what to do with your self. And of course, it should add value to others, and as well as it should add value to you. So this is going to be a very major play during this transit, and now we will cover each ascendant. First, we'll begin with Aries. So the Aries ascendant, you have to see that Rahu is in your second house and Ketu is on your 8th house. So there is a lot of transformation. Remember, Ketu is transformation, and Rahu being on the sign of second house, it will want to, second house is again, Taurus. So it will help you do things which you really want to do and are waiting for a long time to do. It'll give you that chance to build those things up. remember, things will be slow. It will not be very fast paced, because things in general are slow with Saturn in the Capricorn sign, and that video I'm going to come up with it very soon. But remember, the Aries sign has to be right now slow but sure. Then comes the Taurus sign. Well, Taurus sign, Rahu is in your ascendant, and Ketu is in your seventh house, which means that you can't ignore your relationships. You might not want change, because remember, Ketu brings along changes, and Rahu, being on your ascendant, will want. You're not somebody who really likes changes, but remember that you have to accept certain things which come along your way. Then comes the sign of Gemini. Gemini, your Rahu is on the 12th house and Ketu is in the sign of Scorpio. It's affecting your 6th house, which means that you will see, 6th house is all about your finances, your you could say your wealth. So you might see some unexpected finance expenses also. Again, 12th house Rahu is all about expenses, so you might face some unexpected expenses, and 6th house being the sign of competition, you will feel a little boggled down by some competitions. However, this time will pull you through, and you can expect some amount of carefulness, a cautiousness in terms of your expenses, in terms of your earnings. So be careful there. Then comes Cancer, where Rahu is on the 11th house and Ketu is on the 5th house, which means that there might be some financial gains, but there might be again a little bit of blockages and complications. You will be concerned about your children, and make sure that you don't go overboard with your expenses with your children, and your concerns, not only in terms of your responsibilities, but in terms of emotions. Make sure you are handling your emotions well with your children. And Rahu on the 11th house, that means it's a good sign. It will give you some unexpected gains, some new opportunity of earning. So that's for the Cancer ascendant. Then comes the Leo. Leo, Rahu is in your 10th house and Ketu is on the 4th house, which means that 10th house again is your karma house. It's where you perform all your work. And Rahu on the 10th means now it's time to action on what you really want to do. At the same time, you have to work for your success, and other influences on your Ketu, which is on the 4th, will bring up some concerns with your mother, your home, and you will be a little concerned and worried on the home front, but take it easy and go for your work mode in order to achieve the success that you are looking for. Now comes the Virgo sign, which is Rahu is coming in the 9th house for Virgos, and Ketu is coming on the 3rd house, which means it's time to go with new learnings, and you will probably feel a little slowed down, but things are slow in general, so take it easy. Make sure you take step by step towards learning some new skills, and it's the right time to watch out for related issues with your siblings and your father, and also make sure you take the right advice before implementing anything. Then comes the sign of Libra, where Rahu is in the uh, 8th house and Ketu is in the 2nd house, which means a massive transformation is coming your way, and you need to be very careful with your expenses. Do not feel overwhelmed by changes, because changes is the way of life, and just work your way towards your new avatar and look for something new within yourself, and work on those skills and those learnings, and take it each day as it comes. Next is the sign of Scorpio, and for the Scorpio ascendants, we have the Ketu in the 1st house and Rahu in the 7th house, which means you are in the mode of looking for your inner self. Ketu being in your 1st house, meaning you are looking for some spirituality to touch your life. If you're already into a spiritual process, you probably want to go and intensify it. And not only that, if you're not into any sort of spiritual practices, your quest for spirituality will increase during this time. Again, Rahu in the 7th house will demand some changes in your relationship. Now, it could be that you're not having an understanding of your relationships properly. So make sure before taking any sort of a decision in terms of your relationship, you should look within what you really want, and then make a new change with your existing relationships. And I still would suggest you have a better understanding of what your relationships are all about, and then act accordingly with your relationship. Then comes the transit over your Sagittarius, where Sagittarians will have the Rahu transiting in the 6th house, while Ketu will be transiting on the 12th house, which means you will incur sudden expenses, and Rahu will also make you feel strong and ambitious, but be careful, don't go overboard, because Ketu in the 12th house might want you to just expend and not think about it too much. So be careful. You can do some charity, but don't go overboard with your expenses. Then comes the sign of Capricorn ascendants. Rahu is transiting your 5th house, while Ketu is transiting your 11th house, which means that some amount of control is required in terms of creative endeavors, and you must be facing some sort of a little difficulty in earnings, but be careful. Earnings will come along, but you got to be careful on how you earn your make sure that how you earn and make your earnings grow even more better, because there'll be a little difficulty. However, you can manage through this process and this time, and just a little bit of caution is required. Now we will discuss the Aquarius ascendant, where Rahu is transiting the 4th house and Ketu is transiting the 10th house, which means there might be some concerns with your home front, and you might want to change something in your home. Or it could also mean that you want to renovate your house, or maybe you want to change your place of living a little. Maybe you want to go somewhere else and stay. But act very wisely because it's the time of Corona, and take a careful decision. Focus is required with your work. Now, when it comes to Ketu in the 10th house, you might want to opt for a different career altogether. Don't take that step immediately. Just be careful and think it through. I'm sure you would want to do your you want to take your career to the next level, especially with the Rahu transit in the Taurus, but you need to be cautious on how you will take it further. A new way of earning might appeal to you, and you can definitely get into it, but to begin with, do not expect the results to come very soon. Go slow and be sure. And lastly, it comes to the sign of Pisces, where Rahu is in the 3rd house and Ketu in the 9th house, which actually means that you need a new energy introduced in yourself, and you need to increase your own spiritual quest. That is the requirement. You might have some disagreements with your seniors, but don't get into verbal misunderstandings, because this might affect your relationships. So I would advise still that you would want that you want to communicate a lot of things, but make sure you are communicating it in the right way and not getting into trouble by using words which are not so appealing and not offensive. This is what you've got to be careful about. And so here, that was a very quick and short advice on how to make your transit of Rahu Ketu in the sign of Taurus and Scorpio. Make sure you keep these things in mind and act, because the coming few months which you're going to face will give you such situations, and there's where you need to apply the best of your decision. That's from me. I'll see you in my next video. Namaste.